What is your best story of malicious compliance? Buying my first house was a dream come true. The homeowners association, however, was a nightmare. And the president of that nightmare was a man named Gerald. Gerald was a retired accountant who wielded the HOA's book of rules like a weapon. My lawn was a quarter-inch too high. My recycling bin was visible from the street for 11 minutes too long. My welcome mat was a non-approved shade of beige. Every week, a new violation notice would appear in my mailbox, each one written with a kind of petty glee. His personal crusade, however, was against my garden gnomes. I had 3 of them, a gift from my grandmother. They were cheerful, tacky, and I loved them. Gerald hated them. He said they lowered the aesthetic dignity of the neighborhood. I received warning after warning. Finally, I got the final notice. It was a formal letter full of legal-sounding phrases. All exterior garden decorations, including but not limited to statuary of a whimsical or folkloric nature, must be removed within 48 hours. Failure to comply will result in a $50 daily fine. That night, I was ready to admit defeat. I was going to throw my gnomes in the trash. But then I decided to read the HOA bylaws myself, all 300 pages of them. I sat at my kitchen table with a pot of coffee and a highlighter, and I read every single soul-crushing word. And there, on page 147, I found my loophole. Under the section for holiday and temporary structures, it stated that homeowners were permitted to erect temporary screening structures for purposes such as protecting plants from frost or hiding construction materials, as long as the structure was painted in an HOA-approved color and did not exceed 6 feet in height. The bylaws said I had to remove the gnomes. They didn't say I couldn't build something around them. The next day, I went to the hardware store. I spent $200 on plywood, 2x4s, and 3 cans of HOA beige paint. I spent the rest of the day building. I constructed 3 perfect, featureless boxes. Each one was 4 feet tall and meticulously painted in the soul-sucking beige that Gerald loved so much. I built them directly over my gnomes, completely encasing them. They were ugly. They were absurd. They looked like minimalist tombstones on my perfectly manicured lawn. And they were 100% compliant with the bylaws. The next morning, I saw Gerald on his morning walk. He stopped dead in his tracks in front of my house. He stared at the boxes, his face turning a shade of purple I had previously thought was only possible in cartoons. He pulled out his little rule book and started flipping through the pages frantically. He couldn't find a single rule they violated. He just stood there, sputtering, completely defeated by his own regulations. He had to call a special emergency meeting of the HOA board to amend the bylaws to include a rule against empty decorative boxes.